The one where Phoebe runs is the 7th episode of the 6th season of Friends. This is directed by Gary Halvorson, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And it's a really brilliant episode. There are 3 main parts of the narrative, so I'll talk about each part in turn, and I enjoyed all of the parts. This is an episode that I think is very memorable. We have a lot of new things happening as well. Rachel is now living with Phoebe. Chandler is obviously now living with Monica. And Joey has a new roommate, so we'll talk about that first. Joey's new roommate is Janine. She's played by Elle Macpherson, and I don't know how I feel about Janine. I've obviously seen the show many, many times, and I don't think I've ever really had an opinion about Janine. I think having a new character in is quite interesting. That definitely works really well, but I don't think I've ever really cared for Janine or disliked Janine. I'm pretty happy either way, I guess. And Joey realises that she's his roommate, so he can't flirt with her. It would complicate things, and he spends the episode trying to resist her, even though she's bending, leaving her underwear in the bathroom. Definitely not on purpose. She's not trying to tease him or anything, but it seems like this is very difficult for Joey. And he ends up confronting her and says, look, we can't do anything about this. And Janine says, that's okay, I'm not interested in you that way. You're sweet, but that's about it. And Joey thinks the only reason she's not interested is because he's been trying to repel her. So he says, how you doing? And she replies, I'm okay, which is not what Joey wanted at all. It's an interesting, nice enough start to the character of Janine. We have some good episodes ahead because of Janine and certain things that come about because of Janine. But more on those, of course, in due course. Phoebe and Rachel actually start off the episode by leaving the answer machine message. I love that scene. I think it's so fun, so funny, very well written, really strong start to the episode. And Rachel is about to go running, and she suggests that Phoebe joins her. And Phoebe does, and she runs in a way that's closer to the way children run. And Rachel's really embarrassed. So she talks to Monica and Chandler about this, and she's not sure if she should say something. And eventually she does, because she's been avoiding going running again with Phoebe. And she tells Phoebe it just makes her feel embarrassed. And I will agree that what Phoebe says, I think, is very true and a great way by which to live life. But I am still very much Team Rachel. I would not run like that in public. I don't even run in public. I don't run anyway. I never run. But the fear of people judging me because I don't have a good running technique is enough to stop me from running in public. So I'm with Rachel. But when Phoebe says that they are people you don't know and will never see again, and therefore why should you stop doing something that makes you feel so free because you're afraid of that judgment, I just think is such a beautiful way to look at things. And I really wish that I could think that way. And I'm sure many other people wish they could think that way because it seems so freeing. And Rachel thinks about this. And we're in the park a few times. It's a really nice location. Of course it is. And Rachel decides, let's give this a go. And she does. And she enjoys it. And she runs into a horse, which is, I think, probably unpredictable. Obviously, I've seen this many times, but I imagine people wouldn't have seen that coming, just as she didn't see the horse. And she agrees with Phoebe. It is freeing, and I think that that's lovely. And it wouldn't surprise me if anybody watching this episode then decides to try and run that way just once to see what it's like. I'd love to. I would love to try that, but unfortunately, it would have to be deserted for me to try that. Maybe one day, who knows. We then have what I think is definitely my favourite part of the episode, in fact, and this is with Chandler. It starts off with Chandler and Joey unpacking the last of Chandler's things. There's one box left. Joey is hiding in it. His little giggles are absolutely adorable. And he tells Joey he's going to make the place spotless, so Monica, when she comes home, will be really happy. And he ends up doing this, cleaning everything, and Ross puts the idea in his head that Monica is going to lose it because nothing is in the exact same place. And Chandler did quite naively say it doesn't need to be in the exact same place. Ross points out that this is Monica. Chandler begins to panic. And Monica comes home before they've had a chance to sort everything out. They're trying to look through photo albums and find out where things were. And Chandler tells Monica she can't come in because Ross is naked. Which in itself was funny, but the bit that I absolutely love is when Ross calls through the door that I guess I have a guy problem. And Monica replies after a split second, is it the same thing that Chandler had? And it's so funny. And I just thought it worked really well. And eventually Monica has to come in the house and immediately she realizes things are off, which is quite interesting because of course things are going to be off because Chandler's just unpacked a bunch of his stuff. His chair is there. Pat the dog is out on the balcony. So things are going to seem different because Chandler has just unpacked some stuff. But even with that in mind, Monica knows that things are not in place. Even the fridge magnets are not the way they were. But credit to Chandler for going as far as cleaning the front of the fridge. That's clearly he's done a lot of work. And I love the fact that Monica actually appreciated this and acknowledged that, Chandler doesn't need to be afraid of her. He doesn't need to worry about everything being exactly in its place. That's for Monica to worry about. And it was beautiful and it was beautifully executed. And what I love most as well is that after Monica said all of this and supported Chandler, she asked him where Ross had been sitting naked. She still believed that lie, which I just thought was delightful. It's a brilliant episode. Do I have any highlights? I guess Phoebe and Rachel doing the answer machine message and Monica calling through the door about Chandler and just in general. It's a really brilliant episode. I'm sure it's one that I'll always really enjoy. Definitely some food for thought there with Phoebe's running technique. If anybody has ever run like that, I'd love to know what it was like. Is it as freeing as it looks? I imagine it would be, but it's unlikely I'd ever do that. Who knows? Maybe one day. But either way, the one where Phoebe runs is a really brilliant episode of Friends.